Go. Julia, help me say your last name one more time.
Csernus.
Czernus.
That's it. You're getting there.
Czernus. 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 Welcome to the Portal podcast. I have a special guest tonight, and I'm going to do my best to try to pronounce her last name, Julia Czernus.
There you go.
Good score.
Good job.
What's our backstory? We met in Edinburgh in Scotland.
We did meet in Edinburgh, Scotland. It was a work trip for the Learning and Development Department, and we were working in many different countries across the world.
Yes.
And I remember going to that Spanish place. It was a tapas restaurant on the first evening.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, because what else do you do in Scotland, right? You go to a tapas place. And yeah, we had a few drinks and somehow we ended up talking about, I can't recall what we were talking about specifically, but like 10 minutes into knowing each other, we were already discussing like really deep and complex matters about life and traveling and Scandinavian soul. And I don't know, we just really connected there.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I tried to recall what we talked about. I remember some things, and it was not necessarily usually something you talk about with someone you've known for 10 minutes, but I like to talk like that, and I think you do too. So we just skipped this talk about the weather part in the beginning, and like,
yeah, I think that we skipped a couple of weeks or even a couple of months.
Yeah, yes.
Chit-chatting your way into like a meaningful connection with someone where, you know, you first get drunk together in like, I don't know, 6 months, a year, and then you start hooking up. We just skipped that entire story.
Yes.
And I really like that.
Yeah, that's fun. That was a really interesting dinner also. Like, there were a lot of nationalities represented around the table.
Oh yeah.
It was at least some, 4 or 5 maybe, I think.
Yeah, I think you and Frederick, 2 Swedish guys. There was Maike, a German girl.
Yeah.
My Romanian colleagues.
Yes.
And my Hungarian manager, and a Hungarian myself as well.
Yes. Our friend from Egypt wasn't there. He came the day after, right?
He arrived. Yeah, he arrived a day later.
Yeah. And me and your Romanian colleague there, we went from the dinner and ate some fish and chips during the at the restaurant on the other side of the road during the dinner, because he was like baiting me, like, shouldn't we try that? Like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, he was like peer pressuring you in a sort of alpha male way, you know, like, yeah, let's be mischievous, let's be bad guys, have some fish and chips before dinner.
And I swallowed that bait. That was, it was a good dinner.
How was the fish and chips though?
No, it was really good, but it was a lot of food. The fish was like this big, so it was good. So, but yeah, good story. That's how we met, and then we were colleagues. You have changed company now, but you're still in the learning and development world. So, can you just like tell us briefly about that? Like, what is it that you do during the days on the work hours?
I mostly put trainings together and deliver them.
Yeah.
I work on multiple projects, and basically I don't even know. You know, like I talk to people, a lot. I research, I read, I watch videos, I look for cool activities, and I put together training programs for leaders, mostly less experienced leaders,
Mm.
to, I don't know, I want to, if this was a job interview, I would present my job completely differently. So
Well,
then,
I,
then
s- I struggle with that question too. It's just fun seeing you sitting there sweating about it because,
yeah, because so I'm a trainer.
yeah,
I started my career as an actress,
yeah.
and well, that didn't really work out. It did for a while until it didn't. And
Wait. Let's go back there a bit. This is how my brain works. So did you like, was that some kind of childhood dream or something, or did you go to school for it? Or how does one, like, how do you become an actor, like actress? How does that work? Like,
well,
educate me.
it usually does begin as a childhood dream.
Yeah.
It definitely was a childhood dream for me, which was very surprising to my family and my surroundings because I was a really introverted kid.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be, the clown or the little dancer, singer, rock star girl. Not what
Who
I
who
am
were you
today.
then?
I don't know. I was pretty shy around strangers. I would read a lot, watch a lot of movies,
Hmm.
and and this whole dream of becoming an actress, I think it wasn't really a dream of becoming famous and glamorous. I don't know. I just wanted to be part of that magic. My parents would take me to the theater a lot,
Hmm.
and I think I just fell in love with that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did study acting. I have a degree in acting actually, and I worked as an actress for a couple of years. I worked in theater and films, TV shows, commercials, music videos, you name it, everything that you can do as an actor. Bars, obviously, because
Hmm.
when you're an actor, you end up bartending a lot. And at some point, I just realized that I don't want to live my life as an actor anymore. Like I don't want to say that I don't have it in me. I think that the whole notion of talent is overrated. Obviously, you need to be somewhat talented. You need to have a burning desire to say something, to
Hmm.
express something in any field of art. But I didn't like the dependency that comes with acting. Like if you're if you're a writer or a musician or a photographer, you can take your laptop, your camera, your
Hmm.
music instrument, whatever, and just do your art. You just go and do your fucking art. You practice, you create, and you might try to sell it to the world or get recognized, whatever, and it might happen or might not, or usually it doesn't happen for a while and then it does. But acting is so much different because you need the whole context to
Yeah.
practice your craft and your art. I mean, you need to be part of a theater group to start with. um, you need to be cast for a production, for a movie, or for a show. If you don't have that, you can't really do anything. I mean,
No.
you can improve yourself in many ways, and you
Hmm.
can go to uh, acting trainings and stuff, but I think that I didn't have it in me in a way that I couldn't sacrifice my entire life to be an actor.
Because
And
that
that's
that
what I
that
did.
that's probably what you need to do, right? In so many ways.
Yeah, kinda.
Was there? I'm just curious about like. I was, on the other hand, when I was a kid, I was told that I should be an actor because I was clowny, but that was just insecurity, like attention or something. But I also,
You're a little entertainer.
yeah, but like for the wrong reasons. But what could you like? Is there one? No, of course, it's not. But like the personality type of the people that you spend time with on the school there, like studying to become an actor. What kind of people is this? Like, are they very different, or are there many different types? Like, is it very different with the like theater people and the people who want to become movie stars? Like, you get my
In
question?
Hungary, there's not really a distinction. Everybody does everything. I mean,
Hmm.
uh, there's not much movie industry in Hungary to talk about. So if you want to become an actor or an actress, that basically means that you want to work on stage mainly, and then movies too. But it's not that different. As for the personality types, it varies a lot. Obviously,
Yeah.
the film and theater population is very diverse, just like any other field. But not surprisingly, I would say that theater people are usually really intense,
Mm.
have a very rich and intense emotional life, can be introverted or extroverted.
Mm.
That can really vary to extremes, but definitely some high level of intensity, a higher vibration.
Yeah, I get it. That's a good answer to my question. Do
Like a
you,
strong presence.
yeah, I get that. And you said something good there also, like you have something that inside you that you want to like express or get out of you, like you just need to find some kind of channel to do that. But okay, so you kind of left that world there. What did you replace it with when it comes to expressing yourself and the artist in you? Like, how do you stimulate that person nowadays?
Writing. I
Writing.
write. Yeah.
Hmm. What do you write now mostly about, and what is like the end, like the big dream writing about?
What is the big dream?
Yes.
Uh, to be rich and famous and admired, baby. What else?
Yeah, but what does that person write about? The rich and
No,
famous and admired person.
no, I was joking. Um, I've I've always been writing
Hmm.
ever since I remember, but it was just an outlet for my thoughts. I didn't write in any structured way until like my mid 20s.
Hmm.
So I started writing uh, short stories and fiction, like something that you might call literature, in my mid to late 20s. And I started publishing short stories a couple of years back. So I don't have a lot of short stories, but a couple of them got published in literature magazines, and right now I'm working on a novel,
Let's go.
and it kills me.
It
It
does.
kills me, dude. Dude, I finished the first draft.
Hmm.
So I finished the first draft back in the spring. It was, very, very intuitive time to write a lot because COVID just happened, and
Hmm.
all of
Perfect.
a sudden there wasn't much to do outside the apartment. Um, and I have a mentor. She's a pretty well recognized writer lady in Hungary, and she read this first draft and liked it, gave me a lot of feedback. So now I'm working on the second draft, and now I feel like I'm too far ahead to abort mission.
Hmm.
Like abandoning this project now would be a catastrophe. Like I just can't do that. but I'm just feeling so stuck. It's really hard to work on a second draft.
Yeah, I get that. I really really admire like creative people, and I have a close friend. He's a street artist, and he like made me like half a year ago start doing paintings because I told him like I wish I was born like a no I said like something like this like I wish I had that when I was born, the ability to paint. And he looked
I
at me
think,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
but
but he
it's not
looked
so
at me like,
you
are you
do
fuck,
have,
are you fucking stupid? Like,
yeah.
no one is. You're not born with anything, Tommy. You know you
I'm
pull your
not born with
pull your
anything.
you pull your sleeves up and you become good at it if you practice. I was like, well, okay, I can get that when it comes to lifting weights that you can become stronger and you can become smarter by reading books. But the creative things, like in my head, I was so locked into the like either you have it or you don't have it. So I just given up on that. So I started doing the paintings, and I was like, well, I'm painting now. So well,
I've seen some paintings on Instagram.
yes, yes.
They're bloody good. They're
No,
fucking good.
no, you don't have to say that, but they're
I mean,
me.
I'm not an expert in visual arts. I'm not sure if you could sell them to, Tate Gallery or something like
What?
that. But of course you could.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. I get no. I do them with this. It's not. I don't use a brush, or I use this small. It's like
Mhm.
you see my hand movement there. It's made of metal and it's a wooden handle.
You do it with metal stuff,
Yeah, it's a small like I don't know.
and
I don't even know the Swedish
what
word of
kind of
it.
surface are you using?
Hmm?
What kind of surface are you painting on?
Uh, the 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 frames that I buy on the local bookstore,
Hmm.
uh, and I use acrylic painting. But I have this tiny. It's like a small. Mm, it doesn't matter, but it's not like typical painting. It's a bit more rough, and I can like go bananas on it, and that works good with me. So, but I don't know where I want to get with this, but like I'm very into the thing I was about to say that like I had another discussion with him like yeah, but if I'm not feeling it, I can't paint. I have to be in a good mood and I have to slept well. And he was like, no, you have to be able to paint any time of the day. I was like, well, I'm not feeling it. So my question to you is like, let's say you have a crappy day, week, or a month, or COVID is out there tormenting the world, or whatever. You haven't slept well, or like, is it possible to sit and write and be creative and come up with good things when you're like do you have a special mood need to be in? And what is that mood?
Um, yeah, that's the eternal question, I guess. At some point, if you want to invest any time and energy into creating art, the question is whether you should wait for the muse to come and kiss your fucking forehead,
Yes.
or you just show up for the work and hope for the muse to show up too. But getting back to your question, I write best when I'm happy
Mm,
and relaxed.
yeah,
When I don't have any pressure to write.
but now you
I
do.
I get the best ideas on really long walks, which is
Mm,
nothing original. Because if you read about writing advice from history's best writers, a lot of them say the same. So just to completely let your mind wander, no structured thinking whatsoever, uh, and um, and yeah. So the first flush usually comes when I'm when I'm feeling good in my skin.
Mm.
So
Do you try
it's
to
worth
do,
it's worth tending to your daily habits from this aspect as well. So if I'm not well slept, if I don't exercise enough, if I don't eat well, if I'm hungover or stressed, overworked, then my creative juices will be ugh,
and then
shitty.
then you don't sit and just force yourself to
I do some. I mean, I still do because I really believe if you treat it as work, you have to show up.
yeah, right.
You have to show up and give it your best. And sometimes sometimes I'm tired and I'm in a crappy mood and I sit down to write, and then some really good thought or a good chain of words just come to me, and then it stops. So I think there is a magical element in creativity for sure, but it's also hard labor. It's also work.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious about the some artists they it's like some artists they are like really deeply tormented people, and they don't really sleep well, or work out, or they drink booze and do drugs all day long, and but they produce some of the fucking most brilliant magic pieces of art that's been ever created. Do you think that those people, do they, how does that work? do you
I don't know. Somebody tell me, man.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I used to believe in this shit. You
yeah,
know, I used to be like very rock and roll,
yeah.
and I read Ernest Hemingway, Charles
Mm,
Bukowski,
mm.
uh,
Yeah, because he
Scott
was he
Fitzgerald.
wasn't the healthiest person in the world.
Yeah, they were fucking alcoholics,
Yeah,
and
super dark.
uh, yeah. Let's stick to Ernest Hemingway. There's
Mm.
this very famous quotation from him that says, "Write drunk, edit sober."
Yeah,
As in,
that's
you
good.
should. The idea, I guess, is that when you're drunk, you can pour out your soul, unfiltered, unstructured, and then when you sober up, you just edit here and there. I
Mm.
tried. It didn't fucking work. I can't. I can't write a fucking fine sentence if I had like more than a glass of wine.
No.
I mean, I just need a straight head, clear thoughts, sharp mind. That
Mm.
that's how my process works.
Yeah.
I mean, I envy those dudes, but then again, I don't,
No,
because
but is
and
it?
and this whole idea of the tormented artist is, I think it's a little bit passé. I
Mm.
think that probably used to be cool. I think it used to be cool to
To be
be an
Tom
artist,
Tom Waits?
suffer suffer
Yes.
under the burden of life. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
an artist. I feel things deeply.
Yes.
I'm poor. I'm starving. I'm
Yes.
in love, and my love is unrequited.
Yes.
But I write beautiful poetry about it. Fuck off. Get a life, man.
Yeah.
You can be like happy. You can be a functioning grown up and still create good art.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
we all remember those people from school, and we
oh, yeah,
probably
of
have
course we do.
flirted with the decadence in life also, both of us, but like it's no,
Dude,
it's not cool.
I've done that. I'm guilty of that too. Like,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, but that's something, in your journey on this planet, you're searching for something, like, yeah, okay, there might be something there, like taking a cigarette for breakfast, and playing as you said, like
Flirting with
yeah,
decadence is amazing,
yeah,
and
but
you
it's not
just,
amazing in the long run, like,
yeah, you have to know where to stop. I
yes,
mean,
it just
I've
becomes sad
all the
after a
way,
while.
really all the way,
Yes.
and I probably did more than flirting with
Mm.
decadence.
Yeah.
But you just have to know where to slam the brakes, and you know, just strip the whole glamour and the illusion away
Yes.
and look at reality as it is.
Yeah, and that it's way easier if you don't feel like shit every day to, take
Exactly.
yourself through
And
this
mm,
this experience.
yeah, and flirting too much with decadence can take you to ugly places.
Yeah, I remember that. I was in my early 20s, and oh my god, it's so embarrassing to even think about it. But it's not. I wasn't that smart, but I used to smoke back then, and just to be a real badass rebel. I don't know which movie I saw it in or why I thought it was cool, but I thought it was really cool. So when I woke up in the bed in the morning, like lay there naked and like took a cigarette in my bed and like, yeah, this is just
Because if you think about it, it looks cool. I mean,
it does.
we have all those images from like French New Wave cinema,
Yes,
beautiful people with cigarette between their lips and
yes,
looking very sad, and
yes,
then you start to glamorize sadness and
yes.
smoking, drinking, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dysfunctional relationships, and
yeah.
and you're like, wow, that's a really poetic way of living, isn't it? So you
Mhm.
go there and try it, and
Yeah.
it is kind of poetic uh, to
It
some
is.
extent
It is.
for
It
a
is.
while, and then it just fucking isn't.
No,
Yeah,
then it's go from poetic and a bit beautiful in its own way, but then it just becomes sad.
and then it just becomes sad
Yes.
and not in the glamorous way.
And
Yeah,
and poof, you're like a 49-year-old walking
having
around
for breakfast.
playing hard, throwing mysterious quotes around you, not showering for weeks, and it's a goes fast downhill from there.
Yeah,
No, but I know some artists there are like they kind of grown out of that, but they're just a bit troubled and weird in a very interesting way, and they like they don't really care about the things that normal people care about. They don't really care about what kind of fucking car they use or where they live. Like they are very focused in their art, so that creates, you know you focus so much on that, and so this meat vehicle you have, like, what does this matter? Like, I don't give a fuck about this. Let's drink wine for breakfast. Some people just are, they are like that, and that's the people that are like that, that are genuine, and like they're like, okay, I wouldn't want to swap life with you, but you're producing something interesting here. But usually they are older. Like, did you have a lot of I'm switching here, but from a interesting culture, pop cultural thing, the emo thing. Did you have that a lot in Hungary when you grew up?
yeah. I think it happened around the time when I was
You were a bit older then, right?
in in high school. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh, I'm 35.
yeah. What kind of other, like, when I was, there were a lot of metalheads when I was in school, and you have the punk rockers, with the spikes and stuff, and you have the what kind of stereotypes did you have? Did you have a lot of different styles that, like, did you have synth people? Did you know the synth style? They were also a bit
Yeah,
troubled.
I think we had pretty much the same types because
Yeah.
you know i international music
Mm,
and movies kind of influenced the same styles everywhere. So yeah, we did have the punks, the metalheads. We did have the emo.
yeah. But I don't like, many of those styles have like disappeared, you know, but I don't, they have probably been replaced with something
Yeah,
else that
because
I
it's
don't understand. But
funny, and like that was back in what 2006, 7.
yeah, yeah, it was. And
It
at
was
my school that I went to, the high school, they were like, we had like this you could study art. You could either study picture art, like painting, drawing, and doing things with your hands, creating things, and you had the music people, and you have the dancers. uh,
hmm
those three were very like different kind of subculture groups also. So there were a lot of different subcultures and groups, at least when I was in school, like different gangs. It's still like that, I know that, but I don't really see that that much now when I see kids in school. Why do you think that is? Like, did we have a bigger need to rebel?
Maybe those groups still exist. We're just not one of them anymore, you know? Maybe we don't know the subtle signs.
Maybe they have blue t-shirts.
Oh yeah, that's kind of boring.
We don't know.
They're all just normcore now. I don't know. I'm not really surrounded by teenagers.
No, not me neither. I don't know.
Honestly, I got no idea.
Would you want to be a teenager again?
No. Fucking no.
I get when people answer yes to this question, I get very suspicious.
So happy I grew out of that. I hated to be a teenager. I didn't like high school. I think everything is a lot better now.
What age do you think is what's the best age you think in a human being? If you try to look objectively on like living, tough. Like
tough question, because I don't know, like being in my mid-30s, I'm starting to realize that, you know, some possibilities in life are actually narrowing down.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still young enough to start a new career or get married 3 more times.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Yeah, whatever, change gender, but for the first time in my life, I'm starting to feel that, yeah, it used to be like everything is possible, like everything, like the whole future is ahead of me. And for a couple of years now, I'm feeling like, well, not exactly anymore. Like, yeah, and it's weird.
It is.
But your question was which is the best age?
It doesn't really matter. Like it's a hard question, but like I'm thinking a bit like this. Like when you're young, you're quite stupid, but you have like all the physical functions. You can like drink for 2 days. You don't need to sleep. Like your body's like a machine. You can feed it cigarettes and it will survive in some weird way. Now, if you like look at a glass of wine, you will get a headache. Like
I'm over for 3 days.
Yeah, the good thing would probably being like having the wisdom of like a 95-year-old in a 35-year-old body or something. But that
I think there's a reason that it doesn't happen.
Probably.
I mean, wisdom is the compensation for losing your physical functions and beauty and freshness.
Oh,
again. So maybe
that's a way of looking at it,
dude. Maybe this is the best age. Maybe it is your 30s because you're still pretty young. I mean, you know, physically, you still function well. You can, if you take good care of yourself, you can look pretty good. But you're not the idiot monster you were in your 20s. I mean, that goes to me, not to you. So maybe we should just appreciate where we are right now.
So are you saying that we are peaking right now?
We might be peaking. We might just be peaking.
But you never know when you peak. That's that when it's too late.
Yeah, you can. So let's say that we're peaking right now.
Oh my God.
It's a decision. It's a choice.
Yeah.
We are peaking right now.
Yeah, we are.
Still young and hot, but not that young anymore to do stupid shit and make bad choices.
Or smoke cigarettes in the morning. No, that's.
Or smoke cigarettes in the morning.
No, that's. You're going to look at the picture of yourself in 20 years on yourself right now and like, oh my, that was the most beautiful I was. Why didn't I understand that? Why I was so smart. I was so full of life. I was so full of everything. I was so intelligent, sharp. I could do anything. That's what we're gonna feel like probably, and you're gonna do that.
Exactly. So instead of mourning our 20s and saying like, oh my god, I used to be so hot at 24, let's say that, we're still kind of hot and know much more than 10 years ago.
That's only sounds positive in my head. Like, yeah. Yeah. So what do we do with this speaking thing then? With this new
It's
insight
so
here?
much responsibility, isn't it? I mean, once you realize that you're peaking now, or once
Oh
you
my
decide
God.
that you're peaking
Yeah,
now,
we decide that. We decide that.
we decided that we're peaking now.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna start taking more pictures of myself so I can maybe record myself a bit more.
Yeah, a professional photo shoot.
How I'm gonna ask you a question now. In our age, if you have a profile picture of any of your social media, how far back in time is it okay to go? If you've lost part of this magic thing, is it okay to have like a 7-year-old profile picture of yourself when you're 35?
I never had such an old profile picture. I mean, my profile, I don't even really use Facebook anymore. I think my Facebook profile picture is about a year and a half old, something like that.
The reason
And
I'm asking is because I see that sometimes.
I think that's sad.
It is, right?
I think it's a little bit sad.
It's a
Yeah,
little bit sad.
it's a little bit sad.
Yeah. It's
But
it's okay to you can have a picture of yourself when you were a small kid. That's okay. That's another thing. Like having a picture of yourself when you were like 7, like that, because that's not sad in that way. That's just cute or something. But
yeah, it really depends. It really depends what you use social media for. I mean,
yeah, of course, of course.
some people want to broadcast like a very realistic and accurate status update of their life, like started a job here,
Mm,
moved there, got married to that person, whatever, pictures from vacations. I don't really do that.
no.
Yeah, so
How? What's your take on social media? Like, is it fucking up our heads? You think?
I think my approach to social media has changed a lot
Mm,
recently. um I mean, I don't think I can say anything new on the matter. I mean, we have seen a social dilemma on Netflix. We
mm,
we know do know how it fucks with our heads.
yeah.
Uh, Also, it has amazing benefits. I mean, if it wasn't for uh, Instagram, we probably wouldn't be communicating anymore,
No. This is
right?
this is also what I there's so many good things about it, and if you can single them out, the networking part, expressing yourself, like, then it's really good. But like, if you, like most people do, at least here in Sweden, they did some it's the same all over the world, but like, people spend fucking 5 hours a day, like, just getting information bombarded into your head all day long, bam 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 bam. And many people that struggle with this, I think we are like, our generation is, you remember probably back in the days when you were chatting on MSN or ICQ, or all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things, like, so we kind of started early with this. But a lot of older people, they are the ones, really really stuck in this.
Oh,
um,
what people can be so weird on social media.
no shit,
They
they
get
can.
super weird, man.
And
Thank God my parents don't are not really active. They follow me on social, but
mm,
they don't post shit, which I'm super grateful
yeah,
for.
most people are grateful when their parents don't do that.
Their parents just stay away social media.
Yeah, I think, like, being open and transparent on social media. Like you can be that when you're mindful about it, like talk openly about certain topics. But what I see some people, at least I removed Facebook now, but logging in there, I could see like some older person like taking some picture on their, like they have, let's say they have some like big ass wound on their toe or something, like, what is this for?
Really?
Like,
Really?
dude, don't do that. Or taking, pictures this close to their kids, like, well, they have something here, like it's they like every boundary is like every intimate personal thing, they just break through them, like. And also, this is a quite common thing in Sweden when it comes to social media. Usually older people do it. It's a way of getting attention, I think. They just, I don't, have you seen this before? You write like only this, like, I'm so fucking upset right now, or
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
person is the worst person in the world, and you don't write the name. And then
I
you have
think
like 40 comments, like, what is it? Please tell me, call me, write to me. And they're like, no.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that our primary needs as human beings or as animals haven't changed one bit throughout the history. Like, we need connection, we need attention, we
Yes.
need validation, approval.
Yes. All the time.
Same needs, changing platforms, changing technology, changing times, and I think that one of the most harmful way uh, that social media fucks us is that it just inflates our egos.
Yes.
Big time, and it gives you a distorted image of self-importance.
Yes.
Like, whatever the fuck you think that matters, your fucking comments, your bullshit views on politics, your the 38 pictures of your kid taking a poo, the
Yes.
fucking meal you cooked, the film you're watching. I don't care.
No.
I just don't.
No.
And those are important moments to the individual experiencing them, because I absolutely understand. You should be proud of the meal you cooked. You should adore your kid. You should form an opinion on politics, of course. Go ahead, do that, and share it with your close friend group or your partner, your family. I don't know. Share it with somebody who's interested. Share it with somebody who thinks in a different way, has a different opinion, and you can have like a good little debate. But yeah, oversharing and also like fixating on the way you present yourself just to deal with your insecurities and get likes and validation
Yeah.
is a big one. And
And it's so easy. It's like open. It's just I have a thought there, like the thing you mentioned there, like, of course every person on this planet want to see what I eat. Me. I'm of course. But like, we are like we could both agree that we are the main characters in our own movie, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. The little tiny detail there is that I'm not a fucking main character in your movie, but my brain can't really differ there. It's like, oh, I'm the main character in every person's movie. Like that's how I translate.
But you can still have like an inspiring presence on social media, and you can be an inspiring character in other people's movie.
Yeah, of
Not the
course.
main character, but like um if I find your presence inspiring, interesting, motivating, whatever, then I'm gonna keep following you.
Yeah.
If somebody posts bullshit or like pictures of a fake life, then I'm just gonna unfollow. I think we also have a responsibility in what we consume, not
Of
only what we
course, of course,
present.
of
So
course.
um yeah,
Yeah, because
really complicated. I don't know, and I'm not saying that I have the answers, or
no.
I'm not saying that I have a clear strategy on how to use social media. I have no fucking clue, and I do post pictures of meals that I cook. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Same here, same here. But like, you,
I
you
don't
ta-
cook a lot, but sometimes I do, and that
but you
makes me
you buy
fucking
really
proud.
you buy really good looking tasty food, at least from the restaurants, and you should
Yeah,
keep posting that.
I yeah, I like to I like to go to nice restaurants back
Mm,
in the day when there were restaurants.
yeah, yeah. Just to close that topic off there, but I had a conversation with a friend, and I was like, I told him like, yeah, life is like a movie, and I can see I see life as the Guardians of the Galaxy. I am Star Lord. This is a fucking adventure, and I
yeah,
have I have my crew around me. That person fills that for specific function. That person is there. My son is Groot. You can see it like that.
yeah.
And he was like, so uh, okay, if it is like that, who am I? Like in my Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but you are the main character. Like I'm one of your crew members. I'm not Star Lord in your Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's you or whoever you want to be. Like, does that make sense to you? Like that we are,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Like that question popped up.
And it really comes back to self-importance, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That you have a place in your own life and you have a place in other people's life, and
yes,
uh,
yes.
and we shouldn't inflate our importance.
No, no, but it's no, 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 no. I get that. So you said something there about the restaurant. Like I'm curious. Like I don't know how much you know about how we dealt with this pandemic in Sweden, but like in the beginning of it, Sweden took this like this approach that, yeah, let's try to keep things as open as possible.
Pretty
Just,
radical approach.
yeah, just try to behave, people. Like don't lick it on each other and stuff like that. Just be smart. And that was, looking back at it now, it was good, but like in the beginning of that was quite scary when we didn't know how dangerous this was, because like, okay, we do some experiment thing here, like they're not shutting anything down. And I work at the rescue service, we were prepping there, like, okay, like this is how you open a body bag, this is how you secure a,
Holy shit.
like, oh, okay, I don't know. So I was a bit I was a bit scared there in the beginning. Then you started looking around, like, okay, people aren't dying as like flies, and like, okay, what is this? But how have that been, if you compare now? I think we have like, there's some restrictions. You can't go to cinemas like any more than 8 people, and you can't attend funerals with more, or parties with more than blah blah blah. And they recently closed down they didn't close down the nightclubs, but they end at 8, like 8 in the night. So that makes people really really upset now. That's where we are right now.
Wow. Wow. Well, things are quite different here.
Please tell me. Can you walk me through the pandemic from day one in your own?
No, Tommy, I can't. No, that's like the most boring topic you could come
Okay,
up with.
let's not do that then.
Basically, Hungary kind of followed um, the decisions of the neighboring countries like
Mm,
Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia. So started having pretty high numbers early in March.
mm,
There was a first wave of lockdown starting in March, where slowly bars, restaurants, cinemas, theaters closed down completely. Everybody who could work from home was transferred to work from home.
Mm.
I guess it's the same
Yeah.
as everywhere. Um, that lasted until the beginning of June, I think. Yeah, in June, shit started to open up again. When also
Mm.
like non-necessary shops were closed as well. So you could shop groceries, you could go to pharmacies, but you couldn't go to like shopping malls to buy shoes or clothes and stuff like that.
Oh. Oh.
And then there was there was little freedom during the summer. People would, go to travel and party. We still didn't have festivals
Mm.
or bigger concerts, but I remember going to a couple of concerts, actually smaller ones.
Yeah.
So life was pretty much back to normal through the summer, and then shit started getting really bad in the autumn again, like Octoberish, and the government reacted pretty late.
Mm.
Uh, and starting in November, everything is closed.
Oh.
No bars, no restaurants, no cinema, nothing at all. And there's an 8 p.m. curfew. So you have,
Really?
yeah, you have to be at home by 8 in the evening. You can't go anywhere.
What happens if you don't?
They fine you.
How much?
Uh, like 120 euros, something like that.
That hurts.
I know. So, and yeah, obviously you have to wear a mask everywhere. But
Oh.
yeah, the 8 p.m. curfew is
Wow.
pretty radical.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
going on like this for a month and a half now, and yeah,
Wow.
morons are down.
First time I saw a person with a mask was like 2 months ago.
Are you serious?
No. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm serious. But I live in a small, like really, really tiny, tiny village. But still, like
Right.
people don't. It's not that common to see that. The first people that I saw that had masks or heard of, like people like stared at them, like, "Oh, what are you doing, weirdo?" Like it was very weird. I don't know.
I live in a big city, but
Different.
it's still, yeah.
And of course, like Sweden is a quite most areas we're not like, of course the cities you're kind of stacked up on each other, but it's like people have a lot of space here, so
Mhm.
it's a bit different also, but like from me, like uh, I live here in like semi countryside.
Mhm.
This hasn't really affected my life that much. I needed to work from home, so that has been like, we got the baby in February, and that's when we started, working from home, both me and my girlfriend. So we've been packed 4 people in a quite semi tiny apartment for like almost,
Mhm.
yeah, since the beginning. That has been like the only thing that's been like a bit stressful,
I
like
hear you. Yeah.
sitting in the Zoom meeting and you have like a baby next to you screaming.
Yeah,
But
I think that's pretty common.
yeah, it is, but that has, all the stores has been open. You can still go out and eat on a restaurant, buy a beer. You can sit, with your friends up until 8 in the evening. Uh, but what I had some rants on my solo episodes on this podcast that people are complaining like motherfuckers, and I try to, we have no right to complain up here, not about anything. Um, but we do, because we have lived comfy lives up here, and that has made us a bit marshmallowy in many ways. Um, Sweden was a neutral country during World War II, so we've been kind of left alone. Or Europe was burning, and Sweden were like, "Hey, let's just sell shit to all the countries that are burning." So we like very different
Pretty
history.
true.
Do you see a lot of your country was occupied during World War II, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see traces from that still? Like, that's a
I
weird
mean,
question, but
post-communist countries do have traces of that regime
How are they visible in the
in
culture?
in terms of a mindset, but it changes from generation to generation, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting to live in Romania. I lived in Romania for a year.
Yes, yes, yes. How was that
It's
experience?
it's also a um, post-communist country. It's a neighbor country to Hungary. I thought that the cultural differences wouldn't be that big, but damn, they are
Mm,
really, really different because they got it so much worse.
yeah, they did,
And
right?
also different religion and entirely different history. But yeah, it was very interesting to see that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's so interesting that you see traces in people, like going back in the history, and like we have like our neighboring country, Finland, like semi-similar country in many ways, but they were occupied by Russia during World War II,
Yeah.
and they like that has made them very different as people. Like they're a bit more closed in, and
Mm-hmm.
they have this thing also to Sweden that like we think we're better than them. Like if you compare like Scotland and Ireland to England, right? The relationship those countries have. Um, but also it changes people. Like the Finnish people are way tougher than we are. Also
How's
in the mentality, they're like, bite the cheeks together and just work. Like a lot of Finnish people come to Sweden and work, and they're like highly appreciated people because they work like crazy, and like they don't complain, and they don't like even the people our age are like that.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
very interesting. But Romania, what was the biggest cultural differences and shocks that you got there? Like, how are the people in Romania? Can, that's a hard question,
I
also.
don't want to go into the history of the country. I mean, one part of the cultural shock was the fact that I basically moved there from Hong Kong.
Yes,
So
but we're going to
yeah,
talk about Hong Kong also. Let's start with
that's
Romania, then we go to Hong Kong.
that's wild. Um, but still, I thought that Romania would be somewhat familiar because it's like Central Europe, East Central
Yeah,
Europe.
right.
Um, People are really, really friendly, very hospitable.
Mm.
Mm, the culture is much more conservative, much, much, much more conservative.
Mm.
Uh, I mean, patriarchy is a different level of shit there.
Oh, it is. It
Oh
is.
yeah, oh yeah, it is. Traditional values, patriarchy, the church, the Romanian Orthodox Church. I think that the church has still has great power.
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't
But
know.
those two things alone says a lot.
Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about Romania.
Yeah. I want to go there, and I'm going to experience this thing there.
I didn't like living there.
No,
I didn't enjoy that time. No, to it's really hard to make friends.
hmm, that's really interesting. So we compare that to Hong Kong now.
It's impossible. You can,
No,
I mean,
let you get off the plane. You go to Hong Kong. You're going to live here now. How long did you live there?
a year and a half.
Wow. How is that? How can you describe? How does one describe the culture there?
East meets West.
Yeah.
Former British colony,
Mm,
and it used to be a major expat hub. I don't know about now because all these political changes with relation to China
mm.
might might change the entire landscape of Hong Kong, and by landscape I mean that literally. but I lived there in 2017 and 18 before all that shit went down with China.
Oh yeah.
It's busy, fast paced, um, very multicultural, a lot of
Mm.
expats from everywhere. It's very easy to make friends because a lot of foreigners work there. People work hard, play hard, earn a good money, go out a lot, so you can just go out and meet cool, smart, fun people. And nature is pretty amazing too. I mean,
Mm.
like the first impression you get in Hong Kong is that it's a concrete jungle. A lot of skyscrapers and shit. Uh, but there are all these small islands around it and mountains. It's great for hiking. It's great for boat parties, and it's a very good base to travel around Asia a bit. So you just hop on a plane, and in 2 hours you can go to Thailand, Vietnam. Uh, Japan is a bit further away, but Philippines, Cambodia. So yeah, it's a really cool place. I really liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I have some. I haven't been to Asia, but at all. I have this really, really romantic picture of Japan. But
I
I
fucking
know,
love Japan.
yeah, you do, right?
Yeah, yeah. I really want to go back.
Mm. But also, there, like the people there. I have a friend who lives there now. He lives at some ski resort. He works there as a chef now. But how he describes the people, like that, I find that so compelling. Like how they do. Most people, even like a slacker in Japan, is, you can't compare that to like a slacker in Sweden, because even even like the you find some stoner slacker at a ski resort, because the ski resorts attract a certain type of people, like, but they are still like the most polite, humble people you meet. And when they make food or when they make anything, they put their soul in their tiny little things they do during the day. And like, oh, that's
Absolutely.
right. Is that a fair picture, like, that I'm painting?
I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time in Japan. I've
No.
been a couple of times to Tokyo, and I was in Kyoto once, but the impression I got just scratches the surface, I guess. But there is a certain kind of magic that I want to understand better. I think that
And I
I
think you could
think
live there your entire life without understanding that magic.
probably. Have I told you the story about what this Zen Buddhist guy said about Japanese gardens?
No.
So that's something that really stayed with me when I was in Kyoto.
Mm.
Um, there are a lot of shrines and temples. It used to be the capital before
Yeah.
Tokyo was the capital, and there was this Zen Buddhist meditation master guy. I don't know, who took us around one of the shrines, and he was talking about the garden. I don't know if you can picture a Japanese garden right
Yes,
now.
I
It's
can.
it's very random.
Mm.
There are like little rocks. There's a little fountain with pouring water. All kinds of different bonsais and
Mm.
plants. And he was talking about how a Japanese garden is different from Western or a European garden. So now imagine the gardens you see in French castles or English castles like mm, Buckingham
Yes.
Palace. I don't
Very,
even know if
very. No, but very.
like
Yes.
there's always a biggest fountain in the middle, right?
Mm.
Some with some sculptures of dudes,
it's a
sexy
structure. Yeah.
ladies. Yeah, and then it's usually like uh it's arranged in circles.
Mm.
So so this guy in Japan said that the difference is that a Japanese garden never has a center because there's nothing in it that wants to call for your attention.
Oh my God. I get syntax error from that. Can you say that again?
So yeah, I mean, I still get goosebumps when I think about it. So the point is that a Japanese garden doesn't have a center because every little thing in it is that wants to call for your attention.
Wow. That says a lot.
I think there's some profound wisdom in that.
Yes, it is. In some super weird way. I also I read. We're going to talk a bit about Paris also there, but I'm going to stay here a bit. But like, I have a book that I tried to read like 10 times now at home. The Tibetan Book of the Dead. When I
Whoa,
bought,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a challenge.
As I said, I'm trying to read it. It's a lot of references to other books in it also, which doesn't have. But
So it opens a different can of worms.
yes, I'm not there yet, but I'm doing my best. He paints an example here on how you should view like the story of your life in a way, and he said like the Western model is like you have this linear thing that you if I tell you to like, hey, please describe your life, you're going to work in this linear story thing, blah 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 blah. Each chapter, blah blah blah. It's like to understand this book, you have to see your life from above, and it circles. Your life, every year, every day, every minute, every second of your life is a circle, and all the circles have the same size. So the only thing you see on your life is one big circle. That I don't know how to. Oh, you have a circle there, like that part of the book messes with me because I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean with a circle? It's not necessarily that everything goes round, it's also it goes up. But everything you see is a circle.
I guess that your life should be an upward spiral,
Yeah,
not a downward one.
Right. You're like you're there's sort of layers, like bam. I don't know. Why do you have a circle on you? Were you drunk? You don't remember?
No, I wasn't. I was drunk when I got my first tattoo, but this
Yeah,
is the second. I got it in Hong Kong.
Mm. Yeah,
I think it looked cool, and I still think it does.
that's a good answer.
And obviously, you know that this is not the complete answer, but that's the only answer I give to anybody who asks.
Yeah,
I haven't told the real story to anyone, like to anyone.
then let's keep that a secret then. But yeah, I like chewing on different ways of viewing this life, because you walk around in your own tiny little bubble your entire life and think that, yeah, this is my movie, I'm the main character, this is how people view the world as I do. And then you get older and realize like, okay, you're just 10 years older than me, but and that means that you don't view the world in the exact same way as I do. Or you also lived you also, no, I'm not you, but I'm talking to imaginary person here. That was a cold shower for me when I was in my early 20s, when I realized that people don't see the world the same way I do. I had a small crisis with that.
Yeah, when you realize that people experience things differently.
Yes. How
And
is
you
that
can
possible?
share an experience with somebody, like a conversation or a dance or a makeout session or a
Hmm.
journey, whatever. You can be in the same shit together and have like completely different experiences about it.
You
That's a
might. That's weird.
that's a fucking bummer. You never really know what other people experience. I
We
mean,
can,
they can tell you.
yeah, but we can look at the same beautiful flower.
You can kind of feel it. Yeah, but sometimes it makes me feel lonely, you know, that I'm locked in my own experience. And maybe this relates to what I said about art in the beginning.
Hmm.
Desire to the desire to share something, the desire to share your own experience, and to get something
Yes.
from others. I think
I'm
that
I'm starting to think more and more and more that we share a lot of things also. So that's what I've been focusing on like the last couple of years at least. I'm like, okay, so yeah, because I also struggled a lot with this feeling of being a lone weirdo in this on this planet. But then you start to open up, and through art or music or whatever, you find other people that they hear some of the same things in the lyric as you do.
oh yeah, we're much more similar than different.
Yeah, way, way, way more, I think.
Way more similar than
But
different.
that fucks a bit with our own view on ourselves also, because we are unique snowflakes, right? But
Oh
but
yeah, we're beautiful snowflakes.
but we're also like monkeys without hair that scratch our ass, and we like to
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
yeah, we like to have a buzz in our brain, we like to have sex, we like to watch violence, like yeah. I'm As I get older, I see people as one part of my brain see people as way, way more complicated that I can understand, and the other part sees us as more and more like monkeys.
Hmm.
How do you does your development go there? Like, uh, I think I'm also a bit in one of my jobs. I see a lot of like weird shit, and that means also that I see people in like different states of mind when it's quite raw, like when you're
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah, I get it.
and that strengthens my view that we, yeah, a couple of layers down in the onion, we are
We're
very similar, like
I mean, we have the same basic animal needs.
yeah,
And
yeah. Okay, we're gonna do like this now. You're gonna pick a song.
a song.
You're gonna pick a song. We're gonna DJ here for how long this song is, and while we do that, I'm gonna put this in the podcast, so you better choose carefully because this is your song, and I'm gonna go to the toilet, and after that we're gonna wrap it up in a bit. But
Wrap it up.
how does that sound?
Good. Sounds great, man. Sounds good. Um
So I'm gonna wait one sec.